What's going on? And welcome back to the A Show with the Kings of Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Justin, here with Meelz. Meelz, you can tell it's early, or rather, you can
Is
tell that I didn't. I woke up not too long ago.
oh really? Oh, okay. It's the
Recovering.
is the daylight savings kicking your ass?
It's that, and then you got to think it's daylight savings, and then I was in another time zone this weekend, and I came back
Mm.
into I went 2 hours up, 2 hours back, and then 1 hour back. So it's like 3 hours
Well,
back.
how was Texas? How was Texas? How was that?
It was a blast. I was actually helping produce some things at the Afro Tech conference out in Austin. It's my second year going. I really enjoyed. I think I've talked about it a little bit on here or somewhere on the Black Print maybe, but I really do enjoy this convention and going every year. Super positive experience, super eye opening experience as well.
If this wasn't the most hectic part of the year from my job
Right.
scope, I would be super interested in going because I think that sounds cool. Um, but yeah, I'm glad you had a blast. Speaking of having a blast, I want the world to have a blast and make sure that they go pick up our brand new merch.
Yeah.
6 piece of hot takes.
Yes, sir.
The A show. I changed the address. I changed the address in the last minute. I was like, oh, I can change the address. Shut up for me. So the A show at .bigcartel.com. You guys can purchase the shirt. I implore you to purchase the shirt. I'm trying to figure out what other goodies I can put with this stuff since it is a holiday season. So um, if you get the shirt, you might get something a little bit more. Who knows?
Yeah,
You
it's a
know?
great shirt. It's a great shirt. Great. Again, I gotta in your infinite knowledge, like I said last week, I accidentally hit the button.
That was nuts.
I was wiping like a piece of like some dust off of my roadcaster and I accidentally hit the
I
button.
didn't
So
even know you had that.
I got a lot of shit. I mean, obviously, I got this.
Of course. Might have to
I
use that later.
I have all of these, and then it's like we use them for like black print, use them for here. It's like some of them I just like I don't use anymore. Like I don't use this
Mm,
anymore.
No, Sarsky.
We don't use that one no more. I need to
mm,
have some.
mm.
Yeah, I need to have, or maybe I just need to use them. I think I get so
You
caught
need
up.
to. I think you need to use them.
I know. I use them for here. I use them for here.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's
yes, my bad. But in your infinite knowledge, you crafted yet another fantastic wrestling T-shirt that is not like any other wrestling T-shirt in the world. So I got to give you your flowers, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, we are the wrestling fan who are not totally consumed with wrestling. It's not gonna. You know what? I'm not even gonna say anything because anything could be perceived as shots to anything else. I'm just saying we doing it different. We doing it better. And make sure you guys purchase the shirt, thehshow.bigcartel.com. I have
Throw
an
it.
interesting.
Yeah. I'm throwing shots. I don't care. I'm throwing
Okay.
all
Oh,
shots. Bring them all.
listen. I have an interesting prospect for you to open the show. I think it's going to be a good exercise.
I'm scared, but go ahead.
No, don't be scared. This is amazing. In the general, we've been posting the crossover grid wrestling things.
Yes.
I want to do one right now using both of
Uh,
our brains. Literally using both of our brains. I think you'll enjoy this one.
I've stayed away from these because I see how like much fun you guys have with it, and I'm just like I feel like I would just be so shitty, and I would just be like angered at doing it.
No,
Let's do it.
no, come on. I think for sure this is the one. Like if it was like Jim Cornette and like who was in the Dungeon of Doom, I would have never done it today.
Okay.
But I think this one is a cool one because it has so the categories are for this. And if you want to do this with us, crossovergrid.com/wrestling, and they have it for NBA and Pokemon and NHL and all the other shit.
Is there a way I can
Is
see it? I'm a visual learner. Is there a way I can like see
okay.
it?
Okay, yes. So I'm gonna send you the link right now.
Okay.
Send you the link. I want to see. All right, just name the categories. I hope they're the same as mine because at this point of the day, I don't know if it switches at any point of a time zone or something along those lines. But what do you see as the first one?
Uh, I see roster WCW Greed 2001.
Okay, it's all right. So we're on the same one. Okay,
Okay.
so I want to fill this out.
Oh
I
my
think
god.
it's gonna be fun because we got to remember a lot of these things. Hopefully, we get them right.
Yeah.
And a lot of these intersect. So the categories are roster WCW Greed 2001, which is WCW's last pay per view. I have not watched it. So this is where you come in.
Oh my god. Okay.
Intercontinental Champions, WCW United States Champions, and then vertically we have WCW Champion, the roster for the Royal Rumble 2002, and one WCW Cruiserweight title. So I think this is a good mix of WCW, good mix of WWE. I think we can find a happy medium. WCW has not existed for at least 20 years, so all of these people are going to be old,
I'm
um,
scared.
for the most part. I all right. Who would I mean WCW Greed 2001 and
Okay.
WCW Champion. I think we can
Easy.
figure this out.
Easy.
Who
Scott
was on
Steiner.
the roster? Scott
Scott Steiner.
Steiner? Okay.
Yeah.
All
Scott
right,
Steiner.
let's put in Scott Steiner. The goal is to come up with the most obscure one. So if the percentage is the least, like the least one, that means you're heading in the right direction. So I'm gonna put in Scott Steiner right now. That has 32%. So it's like
Is that good?
no, because like most people have picked it. So
Ah,
should have gone. We probably should have gone more obscure. If there's a possibility to go more obscure, you do it. But still, fair.
he was
32%.
he was on the roster. He was WCW
I
champion.
know, but it counts anyone on the roster who was on the Greed show that was
Ah,
a WCW champion. Okay.
can we restart?
Yeah, yeah. Let's restart. Let's
Let's
restart.
restart. How did you just reload it? Reload it, right?
It just goes no, no, no. Go to the bottom, and it has this button that says start over, and
Start
it'll
over. Okay.
okay.
Sky Steiner on that show.
Who else was on Greed 2001? That was a
I know.
former
I
WCW
know.
champion.
I know Booker T was on the show.
Had to be.
Booker T was on the show. I know that DDP was on the show. What else was in Greed? What was the
Who do you think?
storyline then?
I
Um,
mean, everyone was WCW at this point. Was Ric Flair was on the show? Was he on the show? Um,
Ric
who-
Flair might have been on this show. This was
was Kevin
around.
Nash gone already?
He was gone already. Kevin Nash was gone. I do know that. The Ric Flair thing was. Oh my god, what was Ric Flair doing? Don't stop me. Don't stop me.
I could never stop you because I've never watched the show.
Ric Flair was doing something stupid, bruh.
I will look it up.
He was doing something stupid on the show. I want to say that Dusty Rhodes is on this show too.
He was. I'm looking
Yeah.
it up now. I shouldn't look this up
It's
because that's
cheating.
technically not how
Is it
you.
cheating? Is it cheating to look it up? Because I'm not
It's
looking it up.
technically cheating. It's technically cheating, but
Oh, well, damn.
Just pick a W. Just pick the most obscure one of all of them. Who was on the WCW champion around this time? 2001 WCW, like around the end. Who was WCW champion? Probably the most obscure of them all.
The most obscure champion that held this title. I mean, it would
You
be
want to?
David Arquette.
Was he on the show?
Oh no, he wasn't on the show though.
No.
The most obscure former wrestler. Oh, I can look it up.
I mean, you can't, but
I'm not gonna look it up. I would honestly. I know DDP was on the show because the main event was DDP versus Steiner. I do remember that.
okay,
But he was also the a United States champion too for WCW. He just was never the Intercontinental champion.
right. So listen, we can use DDP for another one. If you want to do WCW champion and WCW United States champion, we can use DDP for there and see what happens.
Oh, let's do that first then.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna put in Diamond Dallas Page. Diamond.
That's on the far right.
Yeah, yeah, on the four, right. 7.3%. So we're good. That's good.
That's good. All right, all right.
Yeah, it's if it's roughly between 10%. The lowest you can go is like 0.1% though. So it's like, but we're never gonna find anyone that's like 0.1%. Um WCW champion. All right, let's go to the left then. We'll go from right to left. Let's go. So WCW champion and Intercontinental champion.
WCW champion and Intercontinental champion on that
You
was
can pick
also on the
anyone. No, no.
no.
It's literally just WCW champion and or an Intercontinental champion. Someone who held them both. It could literally be anybody at this point. because
Uh,
including WWE people. I'm just letting you know, since WCW championship lineage continued in WWE.
oh my god. Now I'm nervous.
You
Well,
could
let's go
choose
to
The
WCW.
Rock,
Let's go to
Kurt
WCW.
Angle.
Let's go to WCW first though, right? Right?
Mhm.
So, WCW, we could go all the way back to, like, Blackjack Mulligan or some shit like that, right? But we could also do something very crazy and say that Ric Flair has held both, because he's held both.
Rick, this is true. This is true. I'm gonna put in Ric Flair.
Ric Flair has held both.
14%.
That's terrible. Can we restart? No, that's fine, that's fine.
That's
That's fine.
fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Roster W Greed 2001. I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm gonna put in Jeff Jarrett.
Okay.
Jeff Jarrett for Greed and WCW champion. 13%. All right. So the odds aren't that great. Um,
13,
but
you
if
said
we no, it's good. If you get them between 10%, below like 10%, I think you're doing great. The next row is the roster for the Royal Rumble 2001, and then all the things on top. So who was in the Royal Rumble 2002 and on Greed in 2001? And we already chose Ric Flair.
uh, Oh, this is the joy of this thing, huh?
Yeah, we already chose Ric Flair, so we can't choose him.
You remember this show?
No, I'd never watched this show. I
You
mean,
never
Royal Rumble
watched Royal Rumble
2002.
2002?
I watched Royal Rumble 2002. I would say, I mean, the easiest thing is like Booker T, right? Like Booker T was there.
Yeah,
Was
Booker T.
Mr. Perfect was in Greed? Was he in Mr. Perfect?
No, he wasn't. Stasiak
Um,
was. Was Stasiak in Royal Rumble 2002?
was he? I feel like he was.
He's on the show?
If not, I would say, judging from
Don't
what I looked,
don't put
I would
Stasiak on it. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
Goldust.
Oh, Dustin, he was on Greed. If Dusty was there, Dustin was for sure there, because I think
Okay,
Dusty was on Greed.
okay.
I am
So
not
let me
looking, by
look.
the way.
Dustin Rhodes, 7.7%. All right, we're straight.
And that was roster?
That was the roster of Greed and the roster of Royal Rumble 2001. So now Intercontinental Champion and on the Royal Rumble 2002 roster. So Intercontinental Champion. I mean, it could be
Jericho.
anyone. There's
Jericho. It could be Jericho.
yeah, but that's too. That's too. Everyone's
Because
gonna know.
by
Think more obscure.
'02 Jericho was double belts, right? By then, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. He was undisputed champion, but think more obscure.
Why I gotta be weird? um,
Cause that's how you win. I want. What about
Intercontinental.
William Regal?
But what about Edge?
Edge. Edge is
Yeah.
still. What about Godfather?
Why are we going there? Why are we going that
Because it has
obscure?
to be the least obscure. The goal is for it to be like the least obscure of them
I don't
all.
like this game. Go ahead, pick Godfather then.
Okay,
I think it could be Edge. I don't like this game. Is this in the middle? Right? I'm doing it as you do it.
it's in the
Right?
middle. Pick Edge. Pick Edge and see what percentage you get.
All right, I'll pick Edge. 7.0%. Fucking
Okay,
crown me.
I'm gonna pick Godfather. 2.1%.
That's still good. That's still
No,
good.
this is all still good. All right,
It's
Royal
also
Rumble, Royal Rumble 2002, and WCW United States Champion.
Ay, ay, ay.
Who was a WCW United States Champion? And who's also in the Royal Rumble 2002? Damn, you already picked Dustin.
Yeah. Was Regal
Uh,
ever the no, I don't think he's ever been United States.
I don't think he's ever been. Royal Rumble 2002. Undertaker, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, uh, Mr. Perfect. Was Mr. Perfect? Mr. Perfect was a United States champion, right?
Yeah. Well, they've always said he never won the big one, right? That was like his
Yeah,
whole
he
thing.
never won the big one. Was Mr.
Um,
Perfect?
who else was on Greed, bruh? Is this where we put Booker T?
I mean, we could put Booker T here. Yeah.
Because he was facing off for that title. Because remember they dropped the lineage right after because WCW was like over like the next day. Maybe that's Booker
Was
T right there.
Booker T was a United States champion in WCW?
Don't quote me on this.
Okay.
Don't quote me on this. but he either came into the show. I watched Greed not too long ago, so he either came in to the show with the title or he left with it. But I know he had it.
Okay, as long as you know you had it, I'm putting Booker T.
I'm putting Booker
Okay,
T.
20%. 20%.
Is that, are we losing?
We're not losing. It ranks you based on the percentage, the
Well, listen.
average of the
This
percentage.
is the only 20%, and it's the only motherfucker I know. Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
So,
That's fine. That's fine. Now we got the cruiserweight title.
well,
Won the cruiserweight.
what was the top intercontinental? That was Rick at the
Yeah, I
top.
put Rick.
All
Yeah, I
right,
put Rick.
I put Rick too. 14%, whatever. All right. Won the cruiserweight title, but was on Greed, was an intercontinental champion, and was the United States champion. What?
Wait, no, not all at once. Just
Oh,
someone who won the WCW cruiserweight title who was on Greed. Let's do that. Who was
okay.
left in WCW by the time Greed started that had won the um
3 count was there. Um,
so was Helms.
Helms. I would say Helms. He was
Okay.
in 3 count, wasn't he? He was in 3 count, was he?
He wasn't 3 count. Hurricane Helms. Okay, 11%. Good.
Cool.
Now, a WCW Cruiserweight champion was also an Intercontinental champion. This could be like Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho.
That's tough. That's tough because now I gotta actually remember this card.
No.
Um,
You don't have to remember Greed. It's not about Greed no more. We did the Greed one.
Intercontinental champion that was also a Intercontinental champion. Um,
Intercontinental champion that was also a WCW Cruiserweight champion.
this
Rey
is
Mysterio, Chris Jericho. I'm gonna pick Rey Mysterio.
no,
Yes.
don't pick Ray.
All right. I'm not gonna
What
pick
was
Ray.
what did Ray? What did Ray have?
Ray
Oh, you
had the
didn't.
Cruiserweight title and Intercontinental title.
Who was a cruiserweight? X Pac.
X Pac. Okay,
X
that's a
Pac.
good one. On X Pac. Okay,
XPAC.
it said no.
It said no. What? He never won. He never won.
Oh, he was
Oh,
definitely
what?
Intercontinental champion, right?
Oh my God! Did he never win the Intercontinental Championship?
Wow, he never won the Intercontinental championship.
Oh
What
my
a
God,
lame.
bro! That's a Mandela effect.
Rey
That's a Mandela
Mysterio.
effect.
Rey
Like,
Mysterio would have been 43%, so that would have been too high. I just put it in, and now I can't fit in the last one, so we lost. But
oh my God!
we'll
I'm
try this
sorry.
again another time.
I'm sorry. Yo, we were almost at the.
We will try this again another day.
Damn.
We'll
We
do
were
this
almost
for.
at the end.
We were almost at the end, but that's fine. We ranked 203 out of 593, so that's not too
Bro,
bad.
we both definitely thought that he won the Intercontinental. I could have sworn I saw that shit
I
on his
could have
show.
sworn. No, I could have definitely sworn he won the Intercontinental Championship for sure.
Yo, I'm weak, bro. Damn, we're stupid.
Well, no, who would have? Everyone won the Intercontinental Championship. I feel like people could have. I don't know. Whatever. I know he fought for the Intercontinental Championship for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
it's Jericho, and I thought you know what? He maybe never beat Jericho for that shit. He
yeah,
beat.
I know he
Oh.
won. He fought for it at No Way Out 2000. I remember that for sure. Oh well, it is what it is. Want to get into
Well,
the show this week?
yeah, let's continue the show. I'm mad. We're doing this next
Okay.
week. Fuck that. We're doing this next week.
Okay.
Anyway,
I'm down.
uh, let's talk about Crown Jewel. Happened
Crown
on Saturday.
Jewel. All right.
Big show from Saudi. Uh, what did you think about the show? I wasn't able to watch the show until Saturday night at like 10 p.m. So I didn't end up going to sleep until like 1:30.
I thought outside of the surprises that happened, this show was incredibly regular. Like insanely regular. And I feel like even the people they fell out of the until like Cody and Damian showed up, they were like, all right, this is
Final
we
two
moving
matches.
on.
Final two matches they went up. I think that I th- it- unpopular opinion. I think that some of the women are, or the women in general, are a hard sell unless you're like Alexa Bliss, who they love. Um, some of them are a hard sell. They might not want to see women do like really good matches. I think that's that's what it
Wow.
is.
Okay. We're here.
I'm just being real. I think they're like 0-3 of the last couple Saudi like they're into Rhea when she comes out, then it's just like whatever. I think there needed to be more like Gaga tables, ladders, chairs, like in order for them to like really fuck with it. But I don't know how far they can go doing shit like that, you know?
It's weird that I thought like Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio went too long. Like,
But it was but here's my thing. You needed to have that match go that long just to show that Logan can have matches like that. Like I thought he was actually really good in that match.
I agree, but like I don't know. It just to me, I think the pace of the show, I think it didn't pick up because a lot of these matches were a lot of it like the heel beats down the face until the face is ready to do its thing, and then the heel apparently won. Like
That's
a
fine.
lot of this, but yeah, I thought it was a regular show. Like to be honest with you, didn't think it was spectacular. Didn't think it was amazing, but definitely didn't think it was bad. I think a lot of the progression with the storyline stuff that ends up like bleeding into Raw and like stuff that's going to continue on SmackDown this week. Like I thought it did a good job at least like carrying it over to the next. Except LA Knight. LA Knight will not be in any
We're gonna talk about LA. We're gonna talk about him. But have you ever played this game called Phase 10?
Phase 10. No, what's that?
I wanted to like bring it up. It's like this card game. It's like Uno, but it's not. It's like you have to. It's like there's like 10 phases to it, and you have to draw like a card from like 1 to 12, I think. And then like in
Mhm.
order to win the game, you got to get through all 10 phases. So like one of the phases is you got to get two groups of the same color card, or like one group of the same color card in a 1, 2, 3, 4, or something like that. Like I tried to play that. They was playing a bunch of like black people games at Afrotech at all the parties. There was a spades competition.
Okay,
Um,
of course,
there
yes.
was
Do you know
Uno
how to play
competition.
spades?
No, hell no.
Yeah, me neither.
Take my
I don't
card.
know.
I don't care. Take my card.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't know
care.
if that says for the podcast, but yeah, I don't know how to play spades. Fuck that.
We should have a podcast where we learn to play spades.
If it's anything like learning how to play this game, we're gonna lose.
Anyway, first thing I gotta ask from Crown Jewel here is the LA Knight Roman Reigns match. Um, there was a lot of hype going into this. There was a lot of arguments. I mean, even in our own Discord, up to the day, like literally up
Up
to
to
the
the
day,
hour.
yeah, up to the hour that it was going to happen, of what this was going to be. And I've said it before on this show, as I predicted a month ago it was going to happen, but also that they needed to just get this out the way, whether it was spectacular or not. I thought the build was fine. I thought the build felt like it felt like the June to August contender, or the June July contender for the title feud for Roman here. Like it felt like it's that post Mania lull opponent where it's just like, he don't got a chance, but it is what it
Yeah,
is.
to me, it definitely felt like the contender of the month when they used to do that back in the day. Of like, okay, like we every month, maybe someone gets 2 months, but like this is the contender of the month, like The Rock versus like Chris Benoit or some shit like that. Like just someone who's like, okay, they're occupying the space for the month, and then we're gonna shuffle them out. But we need a challenger for Roman right now. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. And I think I think more than anything, this match proved what I felt about LA in terms of just how the fans react to him in his matches. They love to cheer things, and that is completely fine. I think that you need, someone that can do that. And where you and me might disagree, Meals, is that where this lost me in a lot of ways is that there was no emotional attachment of any kind to this match, and I think the fans felt that as well, because even when it was like heat spots and stuff like that, there just wasn't that investment there. I felt like, I don't know, there was a lot missing there, where it just felt like this was just this new guy that was coming up, and Roman just had to beat him. I just didn't feel connected to this match at all, and I would say the in ring just didn't do a lot for me.
I think a part of it is just because I feel like LA Knight this is still like way too early in the journey for him, which is weird to say considering how like I guess how seasoned he is. I'm using that as a nicer term than old. But considering how seasoned he is, I think there there comes a time in the journey where all the stars kind of aligned, and that's kind of what you want out of a megastar, right? But when it's pushed to the top before it's probably ready to, usually there comes with a lot of side effects. And the one I want to look at too, and I'm not doing this as a, I don't want to be mean, but it reminds me of the Ryback push, right? So
Whoa. Whoa.
Ryback,
Whoa. Feed me more, LA Knight. Whoa. 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 Yo.
that's hilarious. Shout out to us using
Yo.
all
Yo.
the
Yo. I'm about to cut the show off. Go ahead, bro. Hey, Galaxy Brain. Let's get it. Go ahead.
it reminds me of the the Ryback push, mainly because I think the Ryback push came before it was time for Ryback in any kind of role, or had any kind of right to be where he was across the ring from CM Punk. And not only did they put him in a match, they put him in a Hell in a Cell match, a match that he's never done before. Ryback was just Skip Sheffield the year before.
With
Howdy.
it. Talking in an Australian accent.
Right. Meanwhile, LA Knight was just Max Dupree the year before. You see where I'm going with this? Like, this is something that I think the to me, again, I've said this a million times, the ideal trajectory for LA Knight is DDP. Someone who manages to garner the support of the people in real fashion, has that kind of grassroots movement where he feels like a man of the people and feels like the people's champion. Um, LA Knight didn't have that aspect, nor do I think he wanted that.
Mhm.
As much as the people are supporting him, he still kind of feels standoffish from the people. Like, I know The Rock was kind of like, and we use The Rock in Austin a lot, but The Rock in Austin still acknowledged the people. I feel like his lack of connection with the people um, is ultimately going to be his downfall at some point in the future.
Yeah, I mean, he
But
told him to shut up last week.
yeah, but the mere fact that he's managed to connect is still a win in some sort of aspect. Like, people don't get cheered as much as he does. So, and I think it's the presentation and the coolness and kind of walks in the strut and everything like that. He reminds us of those yesteryear superstars, but I think this was before his time. I think um, he didn't get enough lumps. I don't know if this is going to happen. I personally think he probably would have been better off on Raw than SmackDown. Um,
But then
because there's,
you gotta contest with Cody, and he's
I
not
mean,
gonna. I think if Cody comes out first during the night, the LA Night pop's gonna be way less. If he comes out at nine
this is
o'clock.
true, but I feel like the level of the contenders that um, LA Knight could go against on Raw would put him in a better position than the contenders on SmackDown. Like, literally, LA Knight's right to passage for this thing was like, when he was a heel, he had a brief feud with Ricochet. He did something with Bray Wyatt that kind of like was missed. He didn't do nothing for a long time. Had matches with Austin Theory, then won a battle royal, then suddenly was teaming with John Cena, and then suddenly got
Yeah.
into this match.
Keep it
Like,
real. Keep it real. He would have had to also contend with babyface Miz, which we'll talk about on Patreon today.
I mean, I mean,
Hey,
listen,
I'm just saying, in order for you to get or for him to get there,
Miz went through the fire, so that's why people
yeah.
feel him.
I think ultimately the LA experiment is gonna lead to something lucrative. But my question to you, Meelz, is after this match, do you think that they view him as a top tier guy that will win a championship anytime soon?
No, um, no, I just don't. I feel like this was something for the moment. Not sure where his contract negotiations are, but I don't think this makes him a megastar in the moment. Kind of like be able to stand really across from Roman Reigns. Like, there's just not. It's just not even close. Like, it didn't even feel like the story was. Usually Roman does a lot of like theatrical gaga around it.
Yeah. The trash talking wasn't even hitting right. Like the looking into the camera trash talk was like usually we get some bars, but again, Roman has these emotional, he has these personal, he has these mental, physical uh feuds with these people that he has. I mean, like he faced off against Kevin Owens 5 times in a row almost, and he had something new to say every time. You know what I mean? And all those matches were heat, and it just felt like come on, Meelz, let's just be real. Like who the fuck's popping for a neck breaker and a Russian side slam? Like that's what he was doing in the match, yo.
I'm not a fan of his like in ring style. I think he'd be better off becoming them doubling down on the personality of it all and kind of like letting him develop in the ring as he goes on. But I'm sure he's at this point where he's like, I've been doing this for 20 years. You ain't gonna tell me nothing I don't already know. That's how I legitimately get that's the vibe I get from LA Knight.
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know. I can't see this match ever happening again. Like
No,
literally, I can't see it ever happening again, ever.
it's like,
Like
well, buddy,
ever.
you get the barricade spear, you got the kick out of one. Everyone kicks out of one.
He got the bloodline. He got the bloodline basic package, man.
Yeah, he
You
didn't
know,
even get the double. Sometimes you'll get the double. You'll get the you took out the bloodline, and then you'll continue with the match, and they'll interfere again, which you weren't even expecting. He didn't even get that.
no,
He got one interference, and that's it.
you got to kick out of a spear, which is, I
Everyone
mean,
kicks out of the spear. I think Cesaro kicked out of one. I think
well,
everybody.
that's part of the basic package. He also got the basic package. You get the run in, you get the spear, um, you get to stand across from him. He gets, you do your entrance first. You get to look at him as he does his entrance, um, and a couple other things. You just got the bloodline basic package, man. Late
Yeah,
night,
yeah. I can't see this happening again.
nah,
I,
not at all.
I can't see it happening again. It's cool. You know what I mean? That he
I don't
got
even
that.
know what he does on SmackDown. I legitimately I was like, where does he even go from here?
Uh, I don't know. I guess Jay or Jimmy. Sorry, not Jay. Jimmy.
Jimmy?
Yeah. No.
I
No.
guess, yeah, I guess Jimmy got to do something. I guess
That can happen. Solo. I guess he has already beat Solo. That was weird too. Why have him beat Solo? And what the thing is that everyone who feuded with LA Knight ended up like in the past couple months has ended up coming up way better afterwards.
yeah.
Like everyone has come up way better after. Like Solo lost some throwaway match on SmackDown, and then he got to fucking brutalize John Cena to a point where niggas is like, is John Cena done? Like,
Hey man, let me talk about this thing for a quick second. The Solo and John Cena thing.
yeah.
He hit him with 7 spikes,
Mm-hmm.
like a lot of spikes.
Cena crazy for just getting up and walking away.
He just get. That's what I'm made at. I'm like, yo, why he just get up and walk away? And
no,
told him to get out the ring and everything.
no stretcher, nothing. Like, oh, he told him to get out of the ring.
I'm pretty sure he did because they had to do that walk thing. So he was like, yo, because Cena talks to everybody in this fucking
Yeah,
match, man.
yeah.
He, he
I
probably
thought
told Jessica Carr, get him out the ring. I
I
gotta
thought
do my thing.
I thought the match was good though. I thought it was actually the best Cena match that he's had since he's come back. But also he was like working, and I let me know that he really like fucks with Solo more than he
Gave him
fucks
a
with
choke
LA Knight.
slam. He
He
gave him
gave
a
him a
choke
choke
slam.
slam. A lot of homages to his dad, which
Yeah.
again Cena knew him, and you know what I mean. Like I thought that was really dope. Um,
I
I
do
I
think Solo needs to bring a little bit more though.
what you mean?
Like I feel like I feel like in terms of intensity, when you look at like the in-ring acumen of his dad or Umaga, I think he needs to bring it a little bit more in terms of like the intensity, the violence, something kind of like that. I feel like he's running with the like it's more of a soft-spoken thing than like a silent killer thing. I think he needs to be a little bit more like violent in these matches, just like 10% more.
That I mean that this could pave the way. I think they're building Solo for not only just the final act, but the acts to come after.
Mm.
Roman inevitably loses. I think they're building him for that. Um, he's taking some lumps. He's taking some losses this year, and that's all I wanted to see in 2023 was him lose to somebody.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. He
ultimately,
shouldn't be unbeatable at all.
yeah, exactly. We've seen him get beat. I just feel like the LA Knight thing just looks funny in the light now. The way he got beat by Roman to beat Solo is just crazy. Also showing that Jimmy is way more incompetent than Jay ever was, and I loved it. I love that aspect of it. Like Jimmy is getting put through tables. Jay was getting the job done. Jimmy can't do it.
Jimmy got
I love
Martin level schemes, bro.
they said timeout.
Bro,
Um,
this go ahead.
we also had Bianca Belair versus IYO SKY. Another strong match from them. Damn, Bianca's she's growing a lot, huh? She's her.
Yeah, I think she is, and she's able to kind of like carry this match. It was interesting. I think in previous years, maybe they would have been like, all right, let's put Charlotte on this card or something along those lines. But Bianca Belair is killing it right now, and she had this great match with IYO SKY, and yeah, it's a
Yeah.
it had a lot of things going for it.
And then out of nowhere, I was like, who let this child on the floor wearing this motorcycle outfit? Looks like she's from Cyberpunk 2099. But no,
Yeah,
it was
Kyrie
Kyrie.
of the 21st century girl.
Yeah, Kyrie Sane. I think it's funny that everyone was like, they've WWE fumbled on like a really great babyface character. Think of the merch. Think of the merch. Back in 20, what was it, 2019, 2020, and she comes back heel. She comes back heel and is like way cooler than she ever was as
I agree. That's
as a
because as a
baby.
baby face, it didn't work. That's why they paired her with Asuka.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to do things with her, and then people weren't really reacting, so they put her as the Kabuki Warriors, which is
Yeah. They tried to say it was racist, even though they came up with a name for it.
yeah. But I think you know what, Kyrie's deciding like, listen, I want to go my own path. She doing her own. I think it like weirdly enough improved her rep in the eyes of the people. Just be like, yo, she going back to Japan and doing her own thing, kind of ruling it over there, and then coming back here. I think it's um, a smart plan, and I think it solidifies her and then authenticizes her in the eyes of the fans. So her coming back, crazy. The little what that does with the whole Bailey thing is even more interesting,
Interesting.
and
Yeah.
I'm super interested to see where this goes.
A cool wrinkle to what's been going on.
Never
Um,
thought EO would turn on Bailey. Thought it would always be Bailey turning on EO.
other way around, right? And again,
Hmm.
do they need her? Will this be, I mean, kind of like a Judgment Day type thing? We'll see. I think that all signs point to like a War Games match here, right? I mean, you've got your oh damn, Dakota's not ready, huh? She's not gonna be ready for a while, huh?
No, but you could do damage control. I mean, it would be Bailey, um, Kyrie, and probably one other girl. Um, who's on SmackDown?
Who they fucking
Uh,
with on SmackDown?
hmm, who are they fucking with on SmackDown? Um, no idea. I just know the other side is going to be Bianca, Charlotte, probably Shotzi, um, and
Could
some.
it be they get somebody?
Uh,
Hold on, let's look at this roster. I'm
let's
sorry,
look at this roster. Ain't gonna be B Fab, I'll tell you that.
bro. I threw my laptop across the room when I saw it when I saw her appear. I said, "Get the fuck
Uh,
here!"
nah, it can't be. I mean, who would it be?
Are they aren't
There's
they all
li-
being used?
yeah, everyone's kind of being used. Isn't that weird? Tamina?
Where's the roster? I'm on fucking Wikipedia. Hold on.
I'm on Wikipedia. Yeah, I'm on Wikipedia. So women's
Shit.
roster on SmackDown is Alba Fire. Oh, maybe Asuka teams up with. Is Asuka a face or a heel?
She's a face.
Could she be a heel?
I thought that she'd be on the face side against Damage Control.
Hmm.
It'd have to be someone like coming up, right? To face them? Oh, that can't be nobody. They just sign the creeds or whatever. Superstars. There we go. Superstars. Let's
I
go
don't think.
to
Yeah, I don't know. It seems very
Snipe.
lopsided
Oh,
at this
Mia Yim.
point.
Mia Yim.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
because of what they did to AJ. Oh no.
Who did
That was
that day?
one.
I
But
was like, that
imagine
came.
Damage Control whooping AJ Styles ass. Oh, it'd be weak as
Oh, good.
hell. Actually, I mean, they're pretty much like all being used unless they get Queen Scarlet.
Maybe women's champion Chelsea, and what's her name?
Nah, I can't see that. I don't know. I You can see
Shit.
what you say, Charlotte, Bianca,
Charlotte, Bianca, Asuka.
Asuka. Yeah, you need four. You need four. They could go to NXT, honest, but they only got 2 weeks to do that.
Yeah.
They literally only have 2 weeks to do that shit. I mean, get Kathy Kelly. It looks like she can lace up her boots. She ain't doing
Get
that.
Jade Cargill.
Yo,
Imagine Jade debuts in War Games.
that's an automatic dub for whoever team she on. That's an auto dub. I think Jade's going to NXT. I think it's never been more clear that she's probably going to interrupt Lyra or something very soon.
Yeah, I think so too. She hasn't really been seen on the main roster since,
Yeah, since she
um,
showed up on NXT that
but
one
she
week.
probably won't be in NXT for a while because you make too much money to be down there.
Yeah, I can see her doing a December to April. December to April.
Right.
Logan Paul was the US title, as we all wanted to happen and thought should have happened. I was actually shocked that Santos didn't have more to do with it. It further
But
continues
he
my
did.
wait, what do you mean?
He was the one who put the brass knuckles on the apron.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, he was the one who put the brass knuckles on the apron. He grabbed the brass knuckles and he could have ran away with it, but he put it on the apron, like clear as day.
Oh.
Hey
Wow.
man, the story continues.
Wow. Hey, good shit. Good shit. Good shit. I did not I thought the nerd did it who
No,
came
no,
out.
no. It was definitely Santos. Like there's video proof.
Oh wow. Wow. Okay. I missed it. It was late when I watched that match, but
Nah,
I
you could have missed it. It was something that's like
very
very
subtle.
subtle, very very subtle.
I like okay. All right. So we moving. We
Yeah,
moving.
yeah, yeah.
We moving. All right.
I'm
All
gonna
right.
send you the video. I'm gonna send you the video.
All right, cool. That's good. That's good. I like that. All right, all right. I'm okay with this decision. I'm okay with him being around a lot longer. Um, you know, I think it's oh no, that was slick. I just watched the video. That was slick. That was slick. That was slick.
It be your own man's, man. They really do. They really
Wow,
do.
be your own Hermanos. Wow. Hey, I got to give it this one, man. This nigga Meelz, man. I'm telling you. Good video. The zoom in is crazy. Um, I don't really have much to say other than like Logan Paul should definitely hold this title all the way to Mania. Period.
I
He should
agree.
have matches with everyone. He should work with everyone. I think that if by next year we're not saying he's at least the world heavyweight champion on Raw, then they've done this wrong.
Do you think he has matches on TV? Because typically those mid card titles are used more for television matches and pay per view matches. Do you feel like is there a chance to see Logan Paul competing on SmackDown? Throughout the year. And to be honest, he's a free agent, so he can take the belt anywhere. Um,
He could. I would love to see. I would love to see him versus AJ. I would love to see him versus a lot of people. Shit. What if Brock came out? You know what I'm saying? Like what if? There's a lot of ways you could go with Logan here. I know Brock is like a long shot, but
right.
um like I think that there's a lot of ways that you could go with Logan here, especially with this title. But I think that you still probably will have him intermingling with the Rey Mysterio thing, which to
Hmm.
me could lead to a really cool match either at Survivor Series or he could do a show on that Black Friday edition of SmackDown, which will happen. Would be cool. That would pop a
Right.
rating for sure. Especially if Roman's not going to be there. That's your new attraction right there.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be cool. What else happened on this show? Drew McIntyre loses the World Heavyweight Championship match at the beginning of Crown Jewel here. Really great match. Triple H is very good at starting these shows off very strong. I will give him that. Regardless of who it is, these shows start off very strong.
Oop,
What was that?
my phone went off.
But he starts these shows off really well, and I thought this was no different. Drew worked his ass off. They both worked. But what's next for Drew McIntyre, in your opinion? A lot of people are talking about his contract coming up. Dave Meltzer says his contract isn't up for a very long time, so he was like, "I don't know why people keep talking about his contract. His contract it's still in negotiation phase, but it's not up for a very long time."
Once you bring up negotiations, people are not going to lay a foot off of it. But I think with Drew McIntyre, the interest has to be, um, I would assume War Games, but it looks like they got War Games pretty filled up. To be honest with you,
It's
like
four. It's 4-on-4 again. I thought it would be five.
I
Crazy.
think Cody loves the classic. You know, Cody's a sucker for the OG. Like 5-on-5. I mean, throw that shit somewhere else. I don't know where he goes from here. He kind of like the thing is like with his with what he did on Raw, or at least what they showed on Raw, it could be something where he leaves and come back next week, or he could be leaving and come back in like like a month and a half.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Um, the
I would
will he
imagine he costs. I would imagine he costs
the team, right?
people. Yeah, yeah, at Survivor Series. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
I would think so too. Um, you got to solidify this heel turn, and I think that him disappearing for a couple of weeks, as he did on Raw, is kind of the way to do it. There was not much on that, but the Seth thanking Drew definitely leaves the door open for that to happen. Um, it's a good long term play. I can't complain about it. I think the week to week, the weaving in and out, like I know people have their complaints about it, but like I really think that like both shows, especially in the absence of Roman, the absence of Roman, like both shows do attempt to give you a week to week balance of stories and things that happen that we just didn't get with Vince. Like shit would get dropped within days, within hours, meals under the
Hmm.
previous regime, and we don't have that here, and that doesn't happen anymore. Everything seems to have a logical weaving in and out, whether it be between Raw and SmackDown, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, all of that. Um, I mean, you still get hints that there might be a show versus show match on here with Pierce still talking shit about Aldis on this. You know what I mean? Like it all hopefully will make sense in the end. But um, I think you got to do Drew and Seth before the end of the year. You have to,
I
because
think so too.
who's going into Mania with the title? Like that's my main question. I don't think you have Rollins run from May to April with this title. I honestly don't think that would be a good idea. I think someone else needs to have it.
I feel like they're going to do this thing where um, Drew agrees to help beat down Seth so that Damien could cash in, with the idea that Rhea has promised Drew a title shot if Damien wins it. But then maybe they turn on Drew again anyway. They're like, we're going to promise you a title shot, but not really. Like, maybe, I don't know. I feel like the Rhea aspect of it is still looming as well. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on. Anything going on with Drew.
Yeah, I'm not saying pull the trigger now though. I think there's still ways you could do this, and I think the Judgment Day angle is still cool because now I'm thinking, damn, maybe he does join. You know what I mean? I mean, you clearly see that, and we'll talk about it on Patreon. But you kind of see that, Damien becoming disenfranchised with the group in general,
Right, of
and
course.
not being told things. So, yeah, we shall see. Let's get into some of the news before we get out of here. Um, Ric Flair.
Jesus Christ. This came out last week and I was I wasn't around when the news dropped, but when I saw it, I was like, this is a stick up. This is every aging WWE superstar must be in a WhatsApp group saying like, yo, you think
I'm
you
free.
talk to Tony for me?
We can still get that deal at Rockefeller. So don't you let your bad mood you. Don't you let your bad mood you.
Why is Ric Flair signed to a multi-year deal to AEW?
Well, let's just break down the timeline of this. When his contract ran out about a year ago with WWE, he had his last match and all those things, all those embarrassing things that happened. It was rumored that he was going to come to AEW, and the rumor was he'd be with Andrade, right? That would be, his manager, because that was during the how many what number of push was that for Andrade cumulatively between two companies, like the 10th one?
Yeah,
Which,
it was. This was still like I think this was still like before Cody had left. I
yeah,
think.
like this was like his 10th or 11th push they were going to do, then they stopped it again. I think we're on push number 13 right now with him in was it the House of Black now? So uh they're trying it again. But during that time, Ric Flair was supposed to come in. The Plane Ride from Hell episode comes out, and everyone starts saying they start kind of separating themselves from Ric Flair. Of course, this is after the Vince McMahon scandal as well. Ric Flair gets lumped into that. So someone gets cold feet. I don't know who, whether it's Tony, whether it's Rick, but he doesn't come in, and he's still doing he is still doing
It had to
more.
be Tony. I'm sure Rick was like, "I'll make it do what it do. I'm good.
Yeah, he's
You
like,
all
they
good?"
still love me anyway. Rick's still doing WWE stuff. He's in like the Cody doc, I think. He's doing a lot of things, but now it looks like that's gonna stop too. But comes out a week ago, 2 weeks ago on AEW Dynamite as a special guest, or a special gift for Stink, for his
Oh,
retirement.
child.
And
Come on.
at that point, we knew kind of what it was. And it is a stick up, but the way that it's worded in his press release is funny because essentially they're saying that the Woo deal that they made will pay for Rick's salary. The partnership that they made with that will pay for his salary, which is like kind of PR terms for saying we did this as kind of like a favor to him just to get him on TV. Like we'll promote you and we'll give you money for your drink, and the money that I guess I'm gonna guess that whatever Woo sells in the arenas at the time, and I would imagine he's only gonna show up in arenas that sell that drink, he's going to get a cut of it, and that's kind of what they're saying.
The arena should call back. You ain't sell no Woo in my arena. I'll tell you that right now. You know?
Have you read the ingredients of this shit?
No.
It's it's
What's in it?
it's it's some weird like psychotropic shit.
Ugh.
Hold on, let me. I was listening to Cornet, and they were talking about it. They feature 7 different mushrooms, which are chaga, red reishi, matake, turkey tail, lion's mane, cordyceps, which is what they turned into on Last of Us. So I'm not drinking that for sure. And go to cola extract. There is
Hmm.
150 milligrams of caffeine in this.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't even seem like a drink Ric Flair should be drinking, to be honest with you.
It's a mushroom energy drink. Like, how did
But
it?
I guess here's my thing. I would get it if it was like a partnership deal with Ric Flair, right? Able to use Ric Flair for being able to do certain things, like
Mhm.
because Ric Flair is still a very popular figure in the wrestling business, and he seemed to like even in later years seem to have like transcended a little bit just because of style and profiling, mostly hip hop, a lot of conversation surrounding that, and et cetera, et cetera. I get that, but using him in any in ring where he was like, I made sure to go to my doctors and get cleared and got my slips so I can like take bumps and all this other shit like that. Like, I'm like, nah, we're using this completely wrong. But I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't know how AEW, WWE would be able to use Ric Flair in ways that make sense from a marketing, branding standpoint. Of like, okay, we got Ric Flair, let's use him for this, let's use him for that, let's have him appear on this. You know, maybe he goes on Hot Ones, hopefully not. But I think from an AEW standpoint, um, I don't know if they have the savvy enough to be able to use him in the best way possible outside of like the in ring product.
Yeah.
And
He said, I can bump. I can bump." It's just, all right, nigga, chill out.
yeah, so and to be honest, it looks bad just in general. If I'm a
Yeah.
young AEW star, I'm
Mhm.
like,
But get this. In the past 2 months, they have let Jay Cargill go and signed Ric Flair and Edge. What does this look like to you if you're a young and
they also let the little Brian Pillman Jr. go. And now he lets
Brian,
his Kang
yeah, look, and he's on TV, you know, sitting in a
way
chair.
more than he ever was in AEW. I'll tell you.
But I mean, you have to look at it like it is currently set to you if you were in that company, and that is that it I don't even know. Like, what do you think is the thought process behind doing deals like this and doing making moves like this? Like, everyone always says, and I'm not saying this to play fucking who's the nicest billionaire stuff, but it's like everyone was like AEW would never sign a sex offender or a sex pest, and then this happens, and it's like,
What? There's a
oh,
sex pest. There's a sex pest doing topes through the top bottom rope every week on that damn show.
like I don't know. I think that it's incredibly short sighted. I think that it's definitely interesting.
I think
How
they
the
stick him up for his money, and they gonna get all their money, and he's not. It's gonna be a bad look. Someone should audit them. I
you
need
want
show
you
me
want
your W-2s. I
you
need to
want
know where this is
uh,
going.
you want Tony to get a RICO charge.
It's funny. I don't know. It's just, and to me, like this leads to kind of like the next question of like, do we feel like the public narrative of AEW is shifting? Um, I've seen a lot more questions about their recent decisions than any previous time before this.
But I've still
Just
seen a
be,
lot more water being held and carried for them too. So,
mm.
you know, like, is that ain't over.
I feel like at least people are beginning like, what do you like? I think the CM Punk thing opened up their eyes to a lot of like, yo, what is this company really doing? Um, Especially when they had to let go CM Punk, and like some people were fans of CM Punk and some people weren't, and now the shows are kind of like the way there's a piece of shit again and all this other shit. Um, I think the procession of AEW. If I had to make a prediction for 2024, I think they're going to piss a lot more people off in 2024.
100%. And that's just from the fact that some people might be gone. Some people might leave. And it's going to turn into how did you fumble this person but you're still paying Jericho who's not giving you anything anymore. I could see like a Daniel Garcia leaving. And then what will they say?
He's a sports entertainer for real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see these are legitimate things that could happen to them in the next couple of months. And they should be very worried about the moves that they make. Like, I know people love Tony because like he seems to be friendly with all of them, right? But you know, you're already getting. Did you see the story with the people said that they'll get creative, like the day of, and it'll change or some shit like that? And I'm like, wow, weren't people like shitting on another company for doing that? And then you have like, well, who was it?
What's the
Jerry
man
Lynn
name? Yeah, Jerry Lynn.
came in and say, hey man, or some shit like
We do
that.
this because they leak our stuff, so we do this to prevent leaks. I'm like, why are you telling me this? And how does that make sense?
Oh man, I'm just like, come on,
How
bro.
does this not happen in WWE? I mean, it does happen in WWE, quite frankly. Because Sean Ross Sapp has pretty much what's going to happen on Raw every week. I personally don't tune into that.
Yeah,
As much as Raw is 3 hours, if I know what's going on, I'm not even going to watch the whole shit. And Raw was great last night, so I'm glad I didn't. But um, I don't know. There's no leak that you could have
yeah.
that would make me more interested in the show. To be honest, with the way you book the show, you practically leaked the entire card already, and you're predominantly a wrestling show. So there's not much things that are going to go on. If there's a really big rumor, we know it's going to happen.
Yeah. We already
Um,
know who's gonna face who's got the boo boo face, all of that. Like we already
we
know.
we know when Kota Ibushi's going to come in. We know.
There's no
The,
shock and awe. There's also no more portals that people can come through. So there's way less key jangling that Tony can do to make people watch. Like the important announcement last week, boy, did that go off like a fucking wet fart.
hey, we're selling tickets starting December 1st.
Does he want to just be on camera?
I'm like, why would who? This is an American show. The
Yeah.
fuck do I care? But I'm pretty sure he feels the the heat because WWE's doing that Germany show a couple of weeks later.
But who
Um,
cares? He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to do that. You know what I mean? I think
he
that's the
feels like he
frustrating.
has to. You saw the tweets. He feels like he has to. He feels like this is legit competition, that they're targeting him and his family.
Well, yeah, the fans are targeting his family, and Triple H and Shawn Michaels are targeting him. I know he feels like he's like the man. I doubt they think of him.
I mean, I wouldn't. Germany, like that's us. You know what I'm saying? Like it really don't matter. But hey, it is what it is.
Well, let's speed past these last ones. Guilia, is that her name? Guilia? Guilia?
I, Guile, Julia. I think it's Julia. Isn't
I
it
think
Julia?
I don't know. If you're saying it wrong, somebody's gonna be pissed. Potentially signing to WWE. Uh, well, I mean, there's been a lot of rumor killers saying, "Oh, she's signed to Stardom till March, and she can potentially be at the PC at this time, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." It seems like a lot of like throwing water on the fire here, which I think is interesting because if she was having conversations, how would y'all know? Um, have you seen any of her matches? I rated her match with the Otami, the women's match of the year, I think 2 years ago. Have I think we both watched that match, right?
No, I didn't watch a match. You told me to
Okay,
watch it, and I forgot to.
okay, but so she's definitely the biggest Joshi star out right now. I think that if her contract is coming up soon, it's not surprising that people are wanting to see, um, people are wanting to gravitate to her and sign her to their company at this time. But as far as what she brings with WWE, I get concerned slightly that my thing is that with WWE and the new generation of women is that you want women that not only can work but also can connect with an audience too. And I wonder what the onboarding will be for when they have to do promos or stuff like that. Like that could be a part of it. And I wonder like what they're attempting to do to kind of like change that.
I mean,
Because like Oscar, it's not a problem for Oscar because she has the charisma to carry it, but
yeah, yeah.
not everyone is Oscar or IYO SKY for that matter,
No,
right?
no, not at all. I think they want her. I think they value her for first and foremost. Someone who can work. I mean, if you have to put in NXT, if you're going to be calling up these girls, you kind of want to continue to bring people who can work to continue to show, you know, your other workers like okay, all these other stars. And it's interesting how people complain about them not hiring any indie stars anymore. And now, like, here we are, value in that. I think she has value, but definitely she needs to the development to be able to connect to people as a star, and tap into that internal charisma or just internal personality. And definitely gonna be, from everything that you says, it looks like it's going to require some work. Um, but I mean, who have we seen? Shawn Michaels and H in Triple H turn Von Wagner. We're cheering for Vaughn. You know what I'm saying, right? Like Vaughn is devoid of any charisma, but hey,
It's working.
it's working. It's working. And maybe it's because he doesn't work that well, that people don't have that stigma around him, like he can only work and not talk. Because usually that's a thing as well. Um, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see where this lands in like 6 months.
In other news, I don't know if you saw Dynamite, but Bryan Danielson got kayfabe hurt in a match that he low key probably shouldn't have been in the first place because he got real life hurt the week before against Andrade. Did I get that right?
I believe you do have that right. That was
Okay.
the big outrage about it, that he was hurt, but still was signed. Even though he was going to be written off, he still had to compete in a match for whatever fucking reason, with no protection on his face.
So he had a broken orbital bone from knocking heads with Andrade hard headed ass uh, during their match on Collision, which maybe 300,000 people saw it. And then he had a match with Orange Cassidy and Okada and Cesaro, a tag match that they lost, and he was selling the eye injury as And I saw the replay that they did for this. Did you see the replay that they did when they showed the orange punch as being the thing
No,
that broke his orbital bone? It missed him.
no, but that's whack.
It missed him, and I'm like, bro, y'all did not try and sell this
Orange,
correct.
Orange fucking Cassidy broke Bryan Danielson's face. The guy who doesn't even do real kicks, Orange Cassidy,
Yeah.
not the guy who he has to wrestle in a couple months.
So they've announced on the show that, or on one of the shows, I don't even remember the timeline of these shows because they all bleed together to me, but
I
that
stopped
Brian
watching, to be honest with you. But go ahead.
he has to get surgery to fix it, and he'll be out for the rest of 2023. But then you kind of realize why they said that is to protect this motherfucker because he puts out a video with an eye patch that he's going to be facing Okada at Wrestle Kingdom this year in January in Japan. So it has taken how many years, Meelz? 3 years for him to finally make that excursion over to Japan to have a
Mhm.
match with Okada, and this will be the part two to that. I'm sorry, woefully disappointing, and I might be playing my card here on what's going to be my most disappointing match of the year, but woefully disappointing match with Okada back at Forbidden Door, I believe, back this June.
This is so whack. I feel like this is so just dangerous, just in general. And the consistent injuries of Bryan Danielson over the last year has not made me feel any better about this. I know that he really, really wants to do this, but who is going to tell him, don't, you cannot do this? Like,
No
who is
one.
going to be the one who says, like, yo, you shouldn't be doing this? Because everyone's a mark for their matches and they're going to wait till this man can, I don't want to wish him any kind of like actual bodily, like permanent harm, but you got to at some point realize, like, listen, it's not working out. After this Wrestle Kingdom match, I fully would hope Bryan Danielson is on a major part-time schedule for the remainder of his contract. Like, to the point where he's only working pay-per-views. Like, it makes no sense investing anything from him if he's just going to get injured in a number of weeks and you're only going to be able to use him in a speaking capacity. Um, but then also, no one has held them to the fire the way they would hold WWE to the fire of this man competing with a broken orbital bone.
Yeah.
It's
But you've
uh,
also done I saw a tweet literally months ago saying that Bryan Danielson in AEW was way better than he ever was in ROH. And I'm like, injuries notwithstanding, my nigga? Like is it just because you get to wrestle all the action figures that you always wanted him to wrestle before? Because I don't feel that way. I don't feel like the stories have been as great. I don't feel like the heat for his matches have been that great. I don't feel like even just like the attention being paid to them. Like these matches happen, and how many of them do people even remember other than MJF and Kenny Omega? How many?
I feel like Bryan Danielson is wrestling at the level that he's expected to wrestle at. And I'm not there hasn't been a breakthrough moment. He hasn't unlocked something new. There's like nothing where it takes you to a different experience or take you to a different level. Bryan Danielson is the greatest, arguably the greatest wrestler on earth, and he's wrestling like the greatest wrestler on earth. So I'm not sure what is better than what in this thing. He just is what he is at this point. Um, I don't know. Yeah. If-
Keep trotting him out there. Here's the thing: he's gonna go hard against Okada, and we're not gonna see him again until like March or April with what he does in January. And his contract is up. I think he said what in next year, next August.
Yeah. Next year. It's definitely next year.
Yeah, next
It's
August. It'll be
probably it's probably been pushed back considering how many times he's been fucking injured, but um
you just don't got it. And I think that we're seeing that, you know. And again, that goes into the public perception. How long can you keep trotting him out there instead of just building new stars? You had him whip Ricky Starks' ass, and then now Ricky's stuck in a tag team with fucking Big Cass. Incredible. I think that's it for this week. We're gonna we're gonna go ahead over to Patreon. We want to thank everybody for listening to the show this week. Thanks for supporting us and getting our brand new shirt. Make sure you go check that out as well. The War Report with Quan and Cyrus, of course, will be this week. They'll be talking about all of the fallout from the Halloween Havoc show, and of course, this week's NXT and AEW Dynamite as AEW gears up for their next pay per view. and NXT starts to begin the road to their pay-per-view as well. What's it called? NXT Deadline, I believe. But yeah, we're gonna go over to Patreon. We're gonna talk about Raw and SmackDown. Make sure you tap in with our Patreon. It's $5 a month, just so you can get show reviews, extra content, early shows, sneak peeks of what we're working on. Like, you know, when we do like an Ilya Dragunov interview, you guys will get that first. When we have T-shirts, you guys get the link first. Stuff like that. Really, really cool incentives for our Patreon followers as well. But yeah, for Meelz, I'm Justin. We'll see you guys later, and we'll be right back with our show reviews.